everybody, I'm Matt Valley. Welcome to the Rock and Roll Research Podcast, where we share the super cool backstories and side gigs of the insights and analytics pros that you trust. Really excited today because I welcome my guest, Austin Harrison. Austin is the CEO and co-founder of a really cool marketing attribution platform company called Northbeam. They're bringing some much needed accuracy and transparency to the practice of marketing attribution and market mix modeling, all in the service of bringing their clients much better returns on their marketing spend. So really cool stuff, filling a great niche. They've got lots of great clients. And I think you founded it in 2019, right?
Yeah, about almost 6 years ago now. Yeah, almost.
Almost 6 years ago, but this is not a new venture to you. I know you have been involved in this for a very long time. Since before we called it digital media, we called it new media, right?
That's true.
I know you started your career on the agency side working for Cara USA. I know you were involved in really the first audience creation at NetRatings, if you remember that name, which was acquired by Nielsen some 18 years ago for like $300+ million. Huge acquisition. So you've been around this.
Yeah.
But what's super cool about you, Austin, is you've got this whole parallel universe of content creation. So in addition to Northbeam, I know you've got this company, Noble Transmission, where you've been doing comics and animations and all kinds of cool stuff. I just want to call out one thing, because I know you've worked with big stars like Kelsey Grammar and all these people along the way. But what really caught my attention is this graphic novel that you put together called The Wild Blue Yonder.
Oh, yeah.
If I'm not mistaken, was named by American Library as one of the 100 great graphic novels for teens. So
that's true. That is
really
true.
Cool.
Yeah, it was a neat project. And yeah, I like graphic novels or comics. Yeah, just always liked them since I was a kid. So really fun to just make some fun stuff along the way.
For sure. So it's not one or the other, it's both. And we're going to talk about all that on today's podcast. So welcome, Austin. Super excited to have you.
Thanks for having me. I appreciate it. Psyched to rock.
Yeah, set to rock. Now, before we rock, speaking of rocking, longtime listeners will know that every morning I take my Magic Mind mental performance shot, which I did. Hey, I got up super early this morning. It was actually before 2 a.m. Now it's like 12 hours hence. Still going strong, right? I take this Magic Mind. It gives me calm energy. It lowers the stress and really keeps me going all day long. There it is. Funny anecdote as well. Yesterday morning, my son, he's a 10th grader, he was getting ready for school. And he was just about to leave. And he said, "Hey, Dad, is it okay if I take one of these Magic Minds to school today?" He's like, "I didn't get a very good sleep. I'm kind of dragging, and it's an important day." And I said, "Well, of course, just come back and let me know what you think." He came back and said he was engaged all day in his classes. So safe for him, safe for me, lots of great ingredients, natural product. And lo and behold, this morning, just before he left, he reached into the fridge and took another one. So like father, like son, what can I say? Cool. All right. So if this is something that might be of interest to you, if it works for me, it can work for you, just go to magicmind.com/RNRLT. That's RNR, like rock and roll, LT. Get yourself a nice discount on a one-time use or an even better discount on a subscription. And then drop me a note. Let me know what you think. Cool. All right. Austin, let's talk it, man. Let's talk it.
Here.
Pioneer when it comes to audience measurement, marketing attribution, all that good stuff. So I know you started on the agency side. How did analytics become sort of part of your career and take us up to the present day?
Yeah, I don't know if I'm a pioneer, but I've been involved in it for a while. I mean, look, without good data, without good measurement, you're kind of dead in the water, right? So I think it's always been something that I view as important. There's always been a lot of solutions out there. I think where I've struggled is to find a good solution over the years.
Sure.
And so the idea with Northbeam was like, let's build something that's orders of magnitude better than what most folks are using to measure marketing, right?
Right.
So we made some good headway there, and yeah, I've always been passionate about it from the beginning when I was buying ads early days, right? Because just trying to understand what was profitable, what made sense to scale,
Yeah.
and what didn't. So it's been a long decades of, I guess when I meet founders that are doing something where they don't have a lot of deep experience, I always worry. So the one thing I like about my world in Northbeam, which is really important to me, is that the problem is very personal to me, right? Like understanding how to deploy marketing effectively in a way that's profitable for the business most optimally. Like to me, that's it's something near and dear to my heart.
Yeah. Well, I suppose with other things that you're doing, I mean, you're essentially in a client mindset when it comes to what you're providing at
Right.
Northbeam, right?
Yeah,
As
yeah.
a content creator. Yeah.
Yeah, like I guess that's the thing is like when you're building a product, do you understand the customer? Do you really understand the pain points? And so when it comes to like media buying or even just running a business in general, and like, am I getting data that's useful for me to do better? Even if I'm already doing well, how can I do
Yeah.
better? Right. Or if I'm doing poorly, what do I need to fix? Right.
Yeah.
So all ends of the spectrum. Yeah. So that's kind of how I think about it.
Yeah, for sure. Hey, just one thought from my side. Just thinking about this, if I were a client and have been, utilizing, let's say, tools like Facebook, right?
Yeah.
There is a little bit of fox watching the henhouse kind of thing when the platform that you're advertising
Yeah.
on is also doing the measurement. So just conceptually, I would feel more comfortable with a third-party platform like yours. Is
Yeah.
that like maybe one of the pain points that you're addressing?
Well, I mean, we work with Meta, right? So we're big fans of Meta and a lot of the platforms. And so our goal is not to say they're doing something wrong. Our goal
Right.
is to say, hey, what is the data that we have that
Sure.
looks at everything and like understands all the marketing spend as opposed to just one? How can we
Right.
help?
Right.
How can we help platforms also understand what the customer is seeing in a way that's holistic? Right.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of measurement that Facebook or Meta does that's really useful that they have. Right. So we have our
Sure.
other lens. So it's really, I view it as more of like a collaborative effort at this point.
Cool. Cool. Yeah, makes a lot of
Yeah.
sense. Excellent. All right. So let's talk about this turn into content creation. So what
Sure.
was the spark that got you into that space, and what's kept you going? And tell us about like maybe one or two of the projects that you've taken on.
Well, I'm making content for Northbeam too. So I've got this short series I'm doing called Austin Hot Takes, really short,
Yeah.
not a podcast, but just 3, 5 minutes. Sometimes it stretches longer, where a lot
Sure.
of our um, kind of leaders in our industry give a hot take on what people are missing today. So I'm doing
Sure.
that, which is fun. In terms of like comics and animation, yeah, how did I get? I always liked painting and drawing as a kid. So I was always drawn to kind of visual arts, hence comics and animation. So yeah, always really thought it was fun. There's a new comedy channel, animated comedy channel that just launched called Churp.
Oh, okay. I haven't seen that
If
yet.
you Google it, CHURP.
Okay.
So some folks are putting it together, and I've been kind of just conceptually helping them out in
Yeah.
certain ways along the way. So that's really neat. That was announced at South by Southwest. If you check it out, you'll see there's some interesting folks associated with it. If you dig in, I don't.
Yeah. Any name dropping
Yeah.
that you can throw out there?
Melissa McCarthy is one
Oh,
of the
nice.
if you know who she
Awesome.
is, yeah, she's a great comedian. She's involved
She's
in one of the
hilarious.
shows. Yeah, but a bunch of people you'll see if you Google it. So CHURP Chirp.
Cool.
Yeah,
Awesome.
lot of cool stuff there. But yeah, anyway, always love visual arts.
Now, how do you juggle that? I mean, it feels like two kind of full-time gigs.
Well, it's like left brain, right brain, that's kind of how I view it, just different sides of my thought process in terms of,
Yeah.
yeah, but yeah, I
Yeah.
juggle.
Yeah. Cool. Anything you would call out as something you're particularly proud of, or you
Whoa,
really
wow.
enjoyed working on?
Wow, that's a good question. Well, I mean, it's like asking someone who their favorite child is, right? You love all your, so I don't know. I don't know if I could call one in particular, honestly.
Okay. Okay. We'll leave it to mystery. So,
Yeah, mystery.
all right. Super cool. So I'm curious now. I mean, you said left brain, right brain, two sort of very different disciplines, that are existing in the same head
Yeah,
here, the creative side and the hardcore measurement side. Is there
yeah.
anything that maybe you've learned from, let's say, the content world, the creative world that
Mhm.
you've applied to the measurement world, or vice versa? Anything you can call out there?
Oh yeah, for sure. I mean, there are always blurry lines in terms of your left brain and right brain are always, you're always engaging back and forth. So, um, yeah, for me, storytelling, like how do you
Yeah.
visually communicate something? Like, Northbeam's background, if you go to our website, you'll see this animates, right? So,
Okay.
which
Yeah.
I was very passionate about the creation of that. Hopefully,
Yeah.
if you see it, you don't think it's lame, but yeah, if you go to our website, northbeam.io, you'll see this globe behind me animating. So,
Cool.
yeah, just I'm real, the visual component of things is very important to me, just across the board. So that's a good
Sure.
example.
Yeah. Yeah. Cool. All right. So, as you mentioned, audience measurement's been around for a while. You've got a fresh take on it. But of course, everything is evolving, everything is changing.
Yeah.
And I'm just interested to know from where you sit, and all the experiences you had, as you
Yeah.
look ahead into the future, what do you see there?
Uh, I don't think I have a particularly hot take here, but obviously artificial intelligence plays a role in all of this.
Sure.
That's kind of obvious, I guess. But we started with a focus on AI 6 years ago. Um, that was always our plan, was to be an AI forward company.
Sure.
Our co-founder Dan did his honors thesis in AI at Stanford in 2012, so he's got a
Yeah.
lot of experience in the field.
For a lot of people that even heard the term.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, when we first said we're an AI company focused on market analytics, people thought we were crazy because, 6, 7 years ago, no one really cared about AI, which is crazy to think now.
Right.
But so yeah, I think artificial intelligence will play an increasingly important role over time. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Makes sense. Makes sense for sure.
Hmm.
Cool. All right. So, this is a podcast, it's media. We all have a limited amount of time, especially you, to consume
Yeah.
media, but we all do it, right? Sometimes it's for professional purposes, sometimes
Yeah.
it's to blow some steam. So, curious to know if you kind of look across the media landscape, what media is earning your time, what content you consume.
Am I allowed to say music? But that's not in the category, right?
Oh, I'm sure, absolutely.
Yeah. And for me, it's really it's music,
Yeah.
music. A lot of audiobooks too.
Oh, sure, sure.
Yeah.
Any recommendations on the audiobook
Mm,
side? I'm always looking
mm.
for good recommendations, or podcasts for
I
that matter.
yeah. I love biographies.
Yeah.
Also probably not a unique opinion, but I really enjoy Walter Isaacson's books.
Hmm.
I love his Leonardo da Vinci. Have you read that one?
I have not. I have not.
It's great.
Yeah.
Leonardo da Vinci bio by Walter Isaacson. Highly recommend. Yeah.
Yeah. Cool. Any professional resources you might recommend with respect to measurement, better understanding
Mm.
marketing? Any go-to sources on your side?
Oh, that's a good question. Oof. It's all moving so fast. Like I always feel
Yeah.
like, you know, um, it's hard to say, oh, there's something that's been written. I mean, there were still fundamental principles remain the same.
Yeah.
About, marketing in general. Shoot, I don't have a go-to book, honestly. I mean, I've read a lot of stuff, but I don't have like one that stands out.
Sure. But what you just said just really resonates with me as I think about not just marketing, but measurement, insights, the sort of trifecta. There is this immutable thing where here are the business questions. They are what they are. They do not change. All that really changes is the way that we address them, get better and better at it. But at the end of the day, we're addressing the same fundamental business questions that we ever did.
Exactly. That's right.
Yeah, super cool. Excellent. All right. You said the magic word, Austin. The magic word, of course, is music. This is the Rock and Roll Research Podcast. So we're going to dig in and we're going to take our time on this one. It is my favorite question. I am super curious because I know we've talked before. I have no idea what music moves you, but I'm looking forward to learning. So here's the setup. Here's the setup, man. You're stranded on a desert island, right?
Yeah.
You've got 3 albums of your choosing to keep you company for the rest of your days. What are those albums?
Okay, Let's Dance, David Bowie.
Yeah, classic.
Paranoid, Black Sabbath.
Dude. Now you're talking.
Yeah, and then Appetite for Destruction, Guns N' Roses.
Yes.
Those are hard to beat, right? Those are good ones.
That is phenomenal. Now, here's something interesting, right? So this is where I have quantitative data on the podcast.
Yeah.
So I have about 400 responses. I ask everybody the 3 albums.
Yeah.
So now I have quantitative data. David Bowie has several mentions. I don't think Let's Dance has been mentioned. It's usually Stardust kind of era kind of stuff. But Appetite, yes. And Black Sabbath, yes. Both awesome choices.
Yeah.
I'm a big fan, so I think I would probably pull up and hang out for a bit.
What are your 3? What are your 3?
Hey, I just asked the question.
You asked a question. I'm not allowed to ask you questions.
Okay.
All right.
Okay, I'll give it to you. So I did do an episode where a turntable episode where I do answer this question. I might give a different answer now. I can't even remember what I said. But
all right, let's see if it changes.
Some ones that come to mind for me. There's a band from Minneapolis, sort of like hardcore punk turned pop called Husker Du.
Oh yeah, I know that. Yeah.
As a matter of fact, their frontman Bob Mould just played on the Tonight Show. He's got a new album out, so that's great. He's still going, still kicking. Kind of looks like me with a bald head and a beard. But anyway, they came out with an album called Zen Arcade on SST Records in the early '80s that just changed my life. So that would definitely be one. It's a double album as well, so that kind of helps a little bit more content. There's an album by Johnny Cash that I really love.
I love Johnny Cash. Yeah,
he did this album of wagon train songs called "Mean as Hell." Not many people know it. It's like old Wild West classics, and it's one of those albums that just completely transports you to a different time and place. And I will just sit there by myself and listen to that album and pretend like, I'm riding across the plains and fighting rattlesnakes and all that kind of stuff. It's something else.
Cool. I'll check it out. Yeah.
And then let's see, that's 2. I really like really early Tom Waits. Maybe Tom Waits.
Oh yeah, I know Tom Waits.
Part of Saturday Night, with of course a special mention for Slayer's Rain and Blood, which is to my mind the best metal album ever recorded. So that makes.
All right, I got something that'll blow your mind. Ready for this?
Yes.
Mid-90s, West Hollywood, California.
Yeah.
Whisky a Go-Go. Early days of the internet.
Yeah.
I set up a live internet stream on something called Real Audio, Real Networks. You remember that?
Yes,
Yeah.
yes.
I streamed a Slayer concert online out of the Whisky A Go Go in West Hollywood. The year was like 95, 96, 96, around there, 95, 96. And there were like 8 or 10 listeners online because, not many people then, right? Slayer. Yeah. They had this giant metal cage. It was like impossible to get into the Whisky. And I broadcasted it live out of there. Just because I was into like figuring out ways to use the internet to get media out there. So,
oh my God, this
it
is
was
gonna be
Slayer.
like divine intervention era or something. Oh my God, dude. Dude. Do you still have that somewhere? I would
God,
love
I
to
gotta
see.
look. I don't know. It's a long time ago.
Now you gotta
Not
dig,
funny
man.
though. It's funny, huh?
That was not what I was expecting from this podcast, but I am super glad
Hey,
you brought it up.
it's a good thing to end on, right?
That's right. That's right. Super cool. Well, I know your company is going really, really strong, Austin, which is really cool. You've had a real successful run. Love your client list. It looks like you're doing great work. Somehow you've got all this content stuff that's going too, and this Churp thing you're somehow involved in. I'm looking forward to checking that out as well. Lots of cool stuff. So I do want to remind listeners, you can go to magicmind.com/RNRLT if you'd like to try a nice mental performance enhancement shot like I use every day. Get a nice discount. So check that out. But Austin, I'm looking forward to the next time we chat, and I'm going to hold you to it, man. You got to try to find that Slayer.
Yeah. I'll look around.
All right, cool. All right. Thanks so much, Austin. Let's talk soon. Rock and roll.
Rock and roll, man. All right.